play video games.
Hey all, how's it going? It's a little dark in here. My hair is like wet still. It was raining. Excuse me. I have pretty bad hiccups too. It's just awful. Everything's going bad for me right now. Hope you're all doing okay. We just got follows or subs from Axelster and Genji Baulv. I'm gonna pretend that's how that's pronounced with that specific inflection. Thank you guys, very kind of you. Today we're playing a little bit of Monster Rancher 2. Jesus, these hiccups probably aren't gonna go away, so we're just gonna have to deal with them throughout the entirety of the stream tonight.
I want to play video games.
Oh my god. Spiral of Vertigo, thank you for the sub, very kind of you. Can't find Monster Rancher 2 or Monster Rancher 2DX on the CB 2024 schedule. Am I just blind reading it? So it's on the All In Together page. All In Together is the community run tournaments at Combo Breaker. So if you're looking on the main page, that's probably why you don't see it. So if I go up to 5, is that's okay, we can go with that. It really highlights how wet I look. Jesus, I look wet. I look like I'm a sweaty old man. That's what this looks like. Hiccups happen. Yeah, so I got caught in the rain, and also I have hiccups. So I'm just a mess right now. But I'm wearing my Nanaland shirt, so I don't think I've ever shown off the whole shirt. Shit's sick. I love that shirt. Moist Bones? Oh no. Anyway, I hope you're all doing fantastic. Today we're playing some more Monster Rancher 2. We are finishing up my three normal guys, my three normal men for Combo Breaker. Yesterday, or on Monday, geez, last stream, we spent quite a bit of time working on making sure we had all of our battle specials and all that fun stuff. But we didn't actually bother getting any text because it took forever. Got Monster Rancher 1 and 2 DX yesterday? Hell yeah. Close enough, the name is from FFT. Just built my first PC and decided to finally use that Prime sub. Appreciate that. Hell yeah. What's Combo Breaker? Combo Breaker is oh my god. I'm going to get through like a full sentence at some point, I think, without hiccuping. Okay, I did it there. So that means I can do it for the rest of the stream. Combo Breaker is a fighting game tournament held in Chicago. It's one of the biggest fighting game tournaments in the world. And they have a couple of community-run events happening there. And one of them, you still have to like sign up for it, and they have to sign off on it. It's not just like anybody can like show up and run an event. But Monster Rancher 2 is going to be at it, and so it's pretty exciting. That's happening on the 24th. So a week from now? Jesus, a week from now. Oh my god, I got so much stuff I have to prepare still. I still have to finish the Combo Breaker video. Oh my god. Too much work. And I'm working every day between now and the day I leave. And the day I leave, I work until about 3 in the afternoon, and then I drive 10 hours after that. It's rough. Oh my god. First time catching a stream after watching almost every damn video on YouTube? Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't stream on Fridays very often. I'm usually working Friday nights. What if I were to part my hair the other way? Just a little bit. If I was just to do that. Now I got like a pomp almost. Whatever, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares, huh? Yeah, it's streamed. Top 4 is going to be streamed for sure. Depending on timing, we might stream more. I would like to stream more, but it really just depends on how confident people are at setting up their controls and stuff like that. Which monsters am I providing? I guess we can talk about that real quick, because it's not going to take all stream to get this done. Okay, desktop. Okay, here we go. All In Together. So this is an event within an event at Combo Breaker. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening here. This is probably one of the coolest ones. TMNT times Justice League Turbo, or Cross Justice League Turbo. This is actually a fan game. That's like a fan sequel to the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fight game, which is sick. But let's go find Monster Rancher. Actually, let's see what other games I'm actually playing. Bloody Roars there, that's sick. Cyberbots is cool. My friend's running this. Cyberbots is sick. Digimon Rumble Arena? Hell yeah. I'm not actually entering Digimon Rumble Arena, but that's also very exciting. Lethal League Blaze is a great game. Oh my god, there's like 45 people signed up for that. That's sick. But we got Monster Rancher 2. We got 21 people for Monster Rancher 2, which is pretty exciting. Here's the rules. I am going to have purebred monsters available: Arrowhead, Baku, Beaklon, Color Pandora, Dragon, Durahan, Golem, Hare, Hanger, Mochi, Phoenix, Pixie, Plant, Suezo, Tiger, Worm, Zilla, and Zoom. So good mix of like just like classic monsters and like pretty competitively viable ones. Though, you know, I'm going to be messing with stat spreads and stuff a little bit. Oh my god. You'll be able to run pretty much whatever you want, but you will notice that some of these monsters have stat spreads that kind of match what they excel in, more so than maybe specifically what's the best competitively. You'll have time to take a look at them and see what's there, but yeah. My arch nemesis isn't there? What's my arch nemesis? I'm sure I have more than one at this point. Undine? Yeah, I mean, because Undine, I think, is kind of a weird monster to include in something like this. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the monsters up. I'm going to just give them all their techs. So you got to wade through that shit. And then something like Baku, maybe I'll have a little bit more life than skill. Maybe on Dragon, I'll have a little bit less speed and more life or something like that. I'll make it a little bit tankier. Nothing's going to be like awful, but just a way to differentiate the stats a tiny bit. Undine is definitely one of my nemesis. My nemesis, though. We're doing some testing, and Undine seems like she's probably one of the best for PvP, though. If I had to make like a top 5 is with fucking, what's his name? With all the bans in place. So like Metal Nerd, Punisher, Time Noise, Ripper, and Kamui. All these are banned. With all these banned, you still have Naga, who's probably best overall. And then you probably have like Dragon and Golem. And then I would see Undine and probably Color Pandora. That's probably top 5. Galley's very close. Galley might be top 5 as well. Mono might be top 5 as well. Raki might be top 5 as well. You got like 10 monsters who can fight for top 5, but like Arrowhead is in there in the mix. I don't think top 5 is like a meaningful distinction, honestly. Worm is busted for some reason. Worm's very good in this. Pixie is incredibly powerful. Kind of hard to say what the absolute best monsters are going to be, but that's my idea. Tiger's in there as well. Suezo's probably just on the cusp. Durahan might be a little bit harder to use properly. Coming to Gommel tomorrow? Oh, you're the guy who's friends with Colin? Yeah. No, I gotta work tomorrow, unfortunately. I can't go to Gommel this year. I also just can't like justify it financially because I'll be at Combo Breaker running Monster Rancher next week. So I had to make my choice, and you know, I'll always choose Monster Rancher. But yeah, man, it was nice to meet you when we met last year. A bunch of people from out east there this year, or? Okay, let's go back. And also, we got to find a song to listen to because, well, good luck. Thank you. Yeah, so I entered Monster Rancher 2. I entered Soul Calibur 6, Guilty Gear Strive, and then the mystery game. Mystery game's just fun. It just fills up really quickly, so I wanted to sign up for it in case I felt like doing it. It's pretty BM to sign up for it and then not do it, though. Yeah, actually, oh, that's sick. But you guys always have pretty good representation. I apologize again for the hiccups. Like, there's nothing I can do about that shit. Am I still playing Bedman? Yeah, though I think in the next week I might practice a little bit more ABBA. I have played a little bit of ABBA, and ABBA is just like stupid. ABBA is pretty ridiculous, so I might just focus on that, but we'll see. Have an ancient Japanese cure for hiccups that never failed. Okay, hit me. 20 from Nova Scotia, 8 from New Brunswick, 20 from... Wow, that's actually pretty solid. 50. That's a big-ass carpool. You guys got a bus? Okay. Funky Game Jams Volume 1. Hell yeah. Oh, hell. This is from a Mario Paint, right? Or the sequel, whatever the sequel is. Yeah, Mario Artist, yeah. What is the color of an eggplant? It's purple. It's aubergine. It's named after the thing that it is. Gone? I hiccuped that while I was saying that. I really hope that works, though. Oh, fuck. I know so much of that kind of shit is psychosomatic. And so it's one of those things where it's like, if you think it's gonna work, it will work. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I ruined it for you. So I try real hard, especially with something like this, where it's like, it's not worth being proud to be like, oh, that's stupid, that'll never work. It's like, I want this shit gone. If you tell me doing this, making this noise is gonna help, I'll do it. I'll do it for an hour. But unfortunately, we'll just see if I can breathe my way through it. But anyway, we got our boy 3 Normal Men. He's doing okay. If I'm drinking something, then burping gets rid of hiccups. Yeah, I've only got water, unfortunately. Oh, Reaper's yelling at me. Reaper's digital audio workstation, like Pro Tools or Logic or whatever. And saying, this is a paid software product. You have run Reaper 180 times for a total of 12,448 hours. You have been evaluating for 960 days. Licenses are reasonably priced. Please buy a license. Holding your breath for like 2 minutes. I don't know if I have that lung capacity. Okay, so if you weren't here the other day, you missed some of this. But I can show you a little bit of what we're working on. Let me go back to the desktop. I haven't recorded any of this. I guess I should start recording. There we go. So, we got our boy here, and then we got the advanced viewer. We got all these battle specials. We got them legit. We didn't cheat for any of this. We got power, grit, fight, fury, ease, hurry, vigor, and unity. Unity is terrible, but we can't not have it because all Color Pandoras do. Our goal right now is to go get Kamikaze before we have the stats required to get Shotgun, because I don't want Shotgun. I guess it doesn't matter. I don't have to use it, but it's just going to be in the way. I just don't want it. They're just normal men. They're just innocent men. It's not a huge deal in this scenario to pick up texts that do not that like you aren't going to use, because you can just simply not use them. But I still like to avoid it if possible. Go on as few errantries as possible. 2 big gulps and burp and bye-bye hiccups. Okay, we got different methods in here. That's 1 big gulp. Okay, that's 2. I hiccuped while I was drinking that. It felt weird. I almost threw up a little bit in my mouth when I burped there, but hopefully that fixes it. It did not, but that's fine. We're continuing on. We're doing pretty standard no rest for the first little bit. It's going to be a little bit of grinding up our power, but we're pretty close. We need 450 combined loyalty, power, and skill. We got 100 skill. We're going to have 100 loyalty, so we need power at like 250-ish. I do appreciate you folks trying to help. This music's pretty hype. Hype's the wrong word, but it's like just energetic enough, you know? These stat gains suck. That's okay, though. We knew that coming in. Problem is I can't use paradoxing because it will raise my intelligence. Or, sorry, it'll raise my skill. Ah, that was a loud one. Which will make it impossible to not get shotgun. I'll go over the text we're going to get. We're going to get Kamikaze and Giant Whip. Those are the two main ones. We're going to get probably 2 whips. 2 whips has some pretty interesting niche use. So I think we'll pick that up just in case. We're going to get Spiral Rush and we're going to get Giant Wheel. Giant Wheel is just so I have something that does damage in slot 4. Spiral Rush is an interesting tech in that it's how do you skip scenes during training? Triangle. Oh, in MRDX, you don't. You press the fast forward option. You can't skip them in DX though. There's actually a mod for it. In the Discord, you can find the mod for it, but yeah, it's unfortunate. Still faster. Still faster when you take into consideration loading times and stuff like that. What's the stat cap? 3,500. 3,500 total. So that's going to be 840 life, 950 power, 950 skill, 760 speed. And then 100 or less in intelligence and defense. Hey, Bald Eagle, how are you doing? So excited. I have a haircut lined up tomorrow too. I got all my stuff figured out except one brake I have on my car is kind of wonky and they said the part would be in next week, but I'm leaving on Wednesday, so I don't know if it's going to come in time. It's not necessary. It's not like I'm going to crash because of it or anything, but it would have been great to get it fixed before I left. Yeah, he's a year old and we've raised like no stats. Drinking all that water did not feel good. I don't trust you guys anymore. Oh. That was too much. There's too much water too quick. You can skip scenes during an entry. Yeah. So, fun fact about DX is that it's based on the original Japanese version of the game, Monster Farm 2. And in Monster Farm 2, you could skip errantry, but you could never skip drills. It's annoying. Come on. Gotta get a haircut too. Wants to cut it for you to save money. I love getting my haircut. It's such a nice experience. So relaxing. Unfortunately, my guy's not available tomorrow, so I have a new lady doing it. But, you know, she comes highly recommended, so I'm sure it'll be fine. I trust her. Wouldn't tell you to do something I wouldn't do myself. I appreciate that. Thank you. I did also, you know, I say this as if it's like, oh, I drank a cup of water, I'm dying. I literally ate an entire pizza, like, right before stream started. I went out to dinner with my wife, and we went to an Italian place, and I ate an entire pizza. So, I'm already struggling a little bit. Learned how to cut your own hair a while back and never looked back. Oh, that's sick. That's a cool skill to have. Hey, we got a great. Hell yeah. 10? I'll take 10. I'm not skipping drills because if I do, it will be significantly quicker. But it kind of sucks for viewership. Nobody wants to watch this shit. Nobody wants to watch. Oh, look at that. I got great. Hell yeah. And then we just keep skipping through it. I'm sure some of it's fine. But when I try to edit it down for a VOD, it's really difficult. I should let someone surprise me. Should have been here the other day where my wife got mad at me for leaving socks in the living room. And she came in and she threw them. You can't see, but I have this like little window here. And you especially can't see, but that is like overlooking the kitchen. It's like a gap down to the lower floor and then there's a railing, and she skill shotted a fucking sock from on the other side of the railing into here and knocked the HDMI cable out of my monitor midstream. That shit surprised me. She got my ass, I'm not gonna lie. Hair's hella long, so you really have to cut it? Hell yeah. I used to have really long hair. But now this is about the longest I let it get. Like, my hair used to be to like my mid-back when I was in like late grade school, early high school. And then as I got older, I kind of stopped letting it get that long. Though, let me, I guess, fine. We'll post the picture. We'll post the emo Nash picture. Half you guys already know about it, but for the others, you know, I appreciate you hanging out. This is what happens when you watch my streams. You get to see the awful Nash pictures. It's here somewhere. I was also bald at one point. Here, I found the bald one first. Okay. So we got bald Nash first. Kind of have the Elvis thing going on. It's funny because I look like a lot meaner here than I do now, but I'm like significantly more muscular now than I was then. I was just like really skinny. I had like a thick neck, but is my wife Babe Ruth? No, she's not. It was a hell of a shot though. And then the other one. Hold on, do I have a quick way to do this? Here. There you go. The Pantera years, yeah. What's really funny is this was a year before that other one we just saw. I am much skinnier there. There, I weigh probably 50 pounds less than I weigh now. My emo phase, yeah. I would have been 19 there. So that's 15 years ago? Jesus Christ. But yeah, obviously the jawline and the cheekbones are a little bit gone. They're not quite as nice as they used to be. But I am a lot stronger than I used to be, and that's always nice. Alright, back to the game. This song kind of rocks. I do like shit that rocks. The good old days, yeah. Okay, so we got 190 power. We're getting there. We'll get there. It's a long road. Especially when we're getting fucking ones like this. We just got a 10. Give me more 10s. What is this? It's nonsense. Sum 41 Blink-182 days, Linkin Park. Man, I legit am a big Blink fan, and I really like the first two Sum 41 albums. I guess technically three, because Half Hour of Power was a thing that came out. Linkin Park, I was a fan when I was like 13 years old, but outside of like the Collision chorus shit with Jay-Z, I don't know, it's not really my bag. Faint rocks though. Faint is such a heavy song. Faint's the first song I remember hearing on radio, like terrestrial radio, with screaming in it and being like, oh my god, this is the heaviest shit that exists. And then, you know, I started listening to actual metal and heavier hardcore stuff, and but that song is still like real fucking heavy for like what it is, at least. Still like those. Over the last, I would say like 5 years or so, I've been trying to listen to bands that when I was 16 everybody else liked, but I was too snobby to like. And I'm really surprised at how much of it is, like, as an adult, I like still think is pretty good. Some of it's a little bit annoying, and it's like, all right, this isn't my scene, because like these are songs written for like a 15-year-old audience. But a lot of stuff is pretty good. Like a lot of like From Autumn to Ashes and stuff like I thought Saves the Day was like really shitty when I was younger. Now that I'm older, I'm like still not super into it, but like I get why kids liked it. I get why kids like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. But yeah, I used to be a huge music snob when I was a teenager. Opinions on modern hardcore like Tsunami and Speed. I'm more of like oh fuck, what's that one band I was listening to? Coheed and Cambria is your band. So I don't listen to a ton of modern hardcore. A lot of the hardcore I listen to like kind of peaks out around 2012, just because that's where I was super into it. So like the later years of like Terror and like Bane I really like. Botch, the new Botch song that came out last year is fucking incredible. I'm a huge like Wilhelm Scream fan. That's more like melodic hardcore, but that's still there. And then I like really, really old stuff. I really like Dag Nasty and, you know, Gorilla Biscuits and like all the shit from the 80s. I'm like really into that stuff. Did I see I got name dropped on the Pokemon podcast? I did see that. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, people were posting it in my Discord. Coheed and Cambria is another band that like I didn't really listen to at all. And like even now, I kind of like the singles and stuff. I think they're okay, but it's not a band for me. I don't really like prog that much, as there's a little too much going on, and his voice is like 4 octaves too high. Why is his voice that high? Isn't he like a big dude? Isn't he like 6 foot with like the big hair? Like, why is his voice so high? Good eye, sniper. I shoot, you run. I don't know. It's like it almost reminds me of like it has like the nasal quality of like Placebo almost, but he's singing like a whole octave higher. Black Veil Brides, no, I really don't like that style of music. That's that kind of shit that I'm not into. Reverend's pretty good, yeah. I only heard of him with what do you call it? The Suezo video that he did, and I started watching his other stuff, and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty solid. Sorry, but yeah, like Black Veil Brides and like a lot of like that style of like melodic like post-hardcore type stuff, I'm not really into. I'm far too old to give a shit about if other people like it or not, but like there was a time where when I was younger I would like be making fun of you for that. It absolutely does not matter though. You like what you like, unless you like fucking the Ronnie Radke stuff. Like you're a huge moron. He's like fucking Falling in Reverse. Like, I'm sorry, brother, you got brain worms. You got more worms than brains at that point. That shit sucks. Or like Blood on the Dance Floor, or like that's like indefensibly bad. Black Veil Brides is at least like, you know, they can play their instruments. American Visual Key, yeah. Got mostly soundtrack CDs as kids. Like which ones? Which ones do you remember? This man wants potatoes. Potato man. Yeah, people keep saying that the Reverend and me have kind of like similar delivery styles, and I understand why someone would say that. I think his is a lot more joke focused and mine is just like, that's just how I talk. So it's a little bit different, but I understand why someone would say we have similar deliveries. Davey Vanity's an asshole. I don't even know. I don't know who that is. Like the name sounds familiar, but I don't know off the top of my head. Or some other hardcore bands I like. Dude, there was one. It's killing me. Poor Habit. Poor Habit, I think, is fucking crazy. I love them. New, as far as like new hardcore goes. I was listening to them the other day. It came on randomly on Spotify, and I was like, these kids rock. This shit rips. Blood on the Dance Floor guy? Yeah, I mean, that's fine. That's entirely understandable. It's really hard for me to get out of my, you know, my millennial rut of listening to stuff that came out in the 90s. I gotta like actively work on breaking that. It's funny because about like 5 years ago, I got like really into Banner Pilot, which, you know, was a band that stopped existing like 7 years before that. But that was like my big new band that I was into. And it's like a little bit late, but it's okay. The first two Pokemon movie OSTs, both instrumental and regular for the first one. Queen of the Damned, a lot of Danny Elfman scored movies. Nice. Avril Lavigne, Skater Boy rocks. That's a good song. It's funny. I remember listening to the self-titled of Blink, and that was the mature one, right? Because that came out when I was 12. But that was the one that's like, oh, this is them, like, this is proper musicianship and like proper songwriting and stuff like that, and that's how everybody like sold the album. And people like to pretend it was divisive, like everybody didn't love it. But I remember hearing Always on it, the song Always, and thinking, this is an Avril Lavigne song. like, sorry, I thought we were saying that Blink-182 went in like a strange new direction and like completely changed their sound, but this is a fucking Avril Lavigne song. And I love that song and I love that album, but like people are not honest with themselves about it. So listen to Billy Talent's first album. What was the big hit on 2? I'm from Canada, I'm from Ontario. Billy Talent was huge here. But I remember, like, Try Honesty was obviously the first single on the first one. And then it was Devil in a Midnight Mass, the lead off for the second one. The second one had a lot of hits on it. Fallen Leaves and stuff like that, I think, was 2. Had Billy Talent sample CD? Like a single? I sound Canadian, that's why I ask. Oh yes, for sure is there, guy. I am a Canadian. I don't like your girlfriend. Well, okay, to be fair, Avril Lavigne was like 30 years old there. That fucking sucks. Northern Ontario? Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm from Espanola, Ontario, which is like an hour west, 40 minutes west of Sudbury. So that's me there. My Quebecois family lives in the Northern Ontario. It gets cold for true, but we still go out and we give her a rip, you know. You're in Chapleau? Oh hell yeah, yeah. No, I have a lot of family in Chapleau. A lot of my mom's extended family lives in Chapleau and Cartier. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Yeah, Chapleau is a lot more north than I am. Me saying bonsoir, yeah, that's proper. But me saying I'm like Northern Ontario is like Northern Ontario if you you're not from Northern Ontario. It goes a lot further north after that. That's for true. Yeah. Broke. My grandpa used to say that. My grandpapa. Okay, what are we at? 260? 260? Oh my god, we're getting ones. I hate this shit. Give me something better than a 1. My French isn't very good, but my family was French. Not anymore. I don't know why I said it like that, but they're still technically French. Oh my god, these games are awful. Zutalor. I was with a girl from Espanola when I went to college in Sudbury. The town stinks. It's awful, yeah. So my town has a pulp and paper mill in it, and they have a lot of like biological waste because, you know, they're literally like feeding trees and shit into this thing to make paper and different kinds of paper and stuff. So there's a lot of biological waste, and so the chemicals that they use to like break it down quicker, so there's not just like piles and piles of like sawdust and whatever, even though they sell the sawdust as well, get run off into this lagoon, and it's like a self-contained lagoon, and it doesn't like leach into a water system or anything, but there's so much sulfur in it that the town, you're coming over this bridge to go into the town, and the pulp and paper mill is directly beside the bridge, and so as you're like rolling into town, it just reeks of rotten eggs, and it's like, it's really bad. Yeah, it's terrible, and it gets really bad in the summer. So luckily I live on the outskirts. I live basically as far away from that as I can while still being considered, you know, a resident of the town. So it doesn't affect me and my family that much, but it's rough if you live like in Espanola proper. My family just decided not to pronounce your name French way because it's too hard for Americans to pronounce. You did the Brett Favre? Yeah. Hell yeah. I grew up in a pulp and paper town in Maine and do be smelling. Yeah, it's not nice. It's so funny when I see, because I have a lot of LaCroix in my family, and in the States they say LaCroix, or that's what that fucking drink is or whatever, and it's like incredibly illiterate. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is LaCroix? It's LaCroix. You gotta say it like that. You gotta roll the R. LaCroix. Can't say it LaCroix. Or I have a friend whose last name is La Liberté, but he lives in Windsor, and so they just pronounce it La Liberty. And like, okay, you're not even trying at that point. La Liberty. La Liberté. Or like Lefebvre, they say like Lefebvre. I don't know. Americans are fucking stupid. I'm sorry. Like, Brett Favre is the one that gets me, because those letters aren't even in the same order. There's absolutely no way you could pronounce it that way if you were literate. F-A-V-R-E spelt Favre. Like, come on. Be real. Be real. At a certain point, you gotta, like, just accept that you have a learning disability, you know? It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Mighty Swiss Force. I don't know what this is, but this song rocks. This is cool. Working retail, Americans can't read at all. I don't know if that's... I think that's just a real thing. Retail thing in general, yeah. Levesque is Levesque. Oh, it's Levesque. It's easy. I know there's like a bunch of stuff in there you don't need to pronounce, but it's easy. Shopping fog, yeah. We're almost there. We're getting there. Emotional support vowels, hell yeah. Okay, so we have enough technically with that great. So I think we're just gonna raise power for the rest of this month and then go on errantry next month, and we'll go get Kamikaze. And we'll be Gucci. I'll be able to priority skip this way, which is pretty hype. The Vescu. Don't never say that to me ever again. Levesque. What is that? I'm mad now. I'm angry. I'm gonna go win my combo breaker bracket just to prove the Canadians, I don't know, pronounce things correctly. I don't know where I'm going with this, but now put that bok in your mouth. Oh man, what are some? I don't know if there's other names. I'm sure there are. Anything that has like a combination of letters that they don't really do. No idea what I'm talking about? Don't worry. But we're talking about names and how names that are predominantly French in origin get completely bastardized in the States. Like Brett Favre. Instead of Brett Favre. I worked with Bernier and Boisvert, and everyone pronounced them wrong. Oh, it's like John Boys. Like, I love John Boys, but it's John Bois. Be real, John. Don't be... Come on. John Boys. What is this? I'm a big John Boys fan. I'm a big John Bois fan. And two Boisvert. Just call them Greenwood? Hell yeah. See how he reads a boot and about? Classic Canadian, that's me. I do say a boot, kinda, but not that. Alright, go with that. I support a Canadian power, hell yeah. Bernier is probably pretty funny. Boisvert. Is that how they... Or is it like Boysvert? Either way, it's stupid. I'm Aussie. The Aussie's gonna talk? Okay. Crikey. Oh, you call them Chazwazes. Get out of here. Fucking didgeridoo ass. Boysvert, they do? Okay. Alright, let's see. It's not a great chance for us to get it. We've got like a 15-ish% chance to roll this. Oh, okay, first try. Not too shabby. I'm not really one to like actually rag on someone for pronouncing their family name differently, because like that shit gets permutated pretty hard. I remember in like grade 10, I had a friend whose last name was Akey, A-K-E-Y, and my English teacher in grade 10 was like, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Aki, and he's like, lady, I know how to pronounce my family's last name, and she's like, I don't think you do. I remember them getting in an argument about it. It was so funny. It's like, what the fuck, lady? Don't be stupid. He knows how to pronounce his name. Love the Chazwazas alone. Chazwaza. Prime Minister! Hey, Mr. Prime Minister! My, like, extent of Australia is The Simpsons, basically. Come on, land the attack. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid, lady. 3 normal men, whatever. Can he do it? And let him swing one more time. I believe in you, brother. Alright, well, that didn't go well. That's okay. He's okay. I do think Aussie accents are pretty hard to do, though. I think people overestimate how specific they are. And they end up just sounding like Cockney a lot of the time when they try it. Okay, we got a new technique. I lost 9 weeks of lifespan there. I'm getting KO'd. Womp womp. It doesn't matter. Even with that, I've only spent 95 weeks of lifespan on this guy. I'm finally out of stage 1. Okay, we got it. We got Kamikaze. We're doing good. It sounded more palmy than Aussie? Probably, yeah. I'm just doing the Simpsons accent. It's not a real accent. I was gonna call out for having a Texan accent by a paramedic, and I was like, "Now's not the time, sir." Oh, you're from Texas. That's pretty funny. I mean, not at the time, but definitely funny now. I definitely don't hear my own accent. Unless I, like, really exaggerated there, bud. Fucking ripping, bud. But unless I do that, I don't really hear it. Okay, I'm gonna move on to raising skill and speed. I think I can Paradoxin next week. I think I'm just gonna rest here. We got what we needed. I got you just what I needed. I'm gonna call my BF to ER. Oh, you sound like you're from Texas. Who's a streamer making fun of Australia? How long did that take you to type out? Hell yeah. I lost some viewers when I made fun of America. I'm sorry. So sorry, you're such babies. Oh, got him. It's so funny, like, as a lot of you guys know, I was banned on Twitter for a little while, and I just got my account back, and that was a big mistake, because I'm not having any fun on it. But I saw this thread the other day that was just talking about how Canadians, when they're abroad, they tell everyone they're American, because they're embarrassed to be Canadian. And it was just like, it's like obvious rage bait, and I didn't like get offended by it or anything, but it was just so weird because it's like demonstrably not true. It's like the exact opposite. But the thread was just filled with people being like, yeah, Canada wants to be so much like America. It's like, dude, they tell Americans to put Canadian flags on their luggage so they don't get harassed when they go to Europe. Like, they're just like, if you don't want to be constantly harassed, you should probably do this. You know, whether or not that's right, you know, judging a group of people based on their government is probably not the smartest thing to do. Not every American agrees with, you know, the military-industrial complex and whatnot, but it's still a thing that they suggest. I think Canada is a little bit weird about America, and Canada has like a very staunch, like, we are not America, how dare you say we're like America type thing. Whereas, like, you know, realistically, looking at it from the outside, the only difference is guns, basically. Everything else is pretty similar. We're also, like, ostensibly more left-wing than the States are, but, I mean, you can argue against that. USA people get shot on in Italy, and I've witnessed it, yeah. We don't want to be like the US, no. But I do think there is a contingent of Canadians who are like pissy about when like the US doesn't respect Canada, and it's like, I don't know. I couldn't imagine caring that much. Do I still want to do polls? I guess poll is the only heavy drill I can do. So I might as well go for it. Alberta is heavy right, Northern and Southern Ontario are usually opposites. So Northern Ontario is weird because Northern Ontario has been pretty consistently until very recently NDP. And then there was like a weird period in the 2000s where it was Liberal and then it became NDP again. But there's a lot of like hillbillies, but it doesn't really outweigh people's love of unions up north. It's definitely not as metropolitan. It's like they're racist, but you know, they like their paycheck a little bit more than they hate foreigners, so they vote NDP. But even then, like, heavy right is like, I used to think the heavy right was like not comparable to the States, but I feel like that's changing a little bit with the internet. Northern trailer trash racing old sleds everywhere. I remember when I was in like grade 5, I got in a fight with someone because he called me stupid because my parents weren't voting for the Alliance Party, which is a party that I think folded 2 years later. A right-wing party that like no longer exists. If you're from Canada, you know about the Alliance with Stockwell Day, but which is just the worst fucking name. Like, it's like they saw him come out and they're like, my son's gonna be a huge bitch. I'm gonna name him Stockwell Day. Day is his last name. We're naming him Stockwell. He's gonna be the biggest loser that's ever existed. Is it like the Tea Party? The Alliance was just... Canada used to be more than like a three-party country. We have the Liberals, who are like moderate left. We have the Conservatives, who are, you know, right-wing. And then we have the NDP, which is ostensibly leftist, but mostly just like slightly further left of the Liberals. They're very similar. They like to pretend they're not, but they are. But before that, we also have the People's Party of Canada, which is like extremely like fringe right, just kind of a joke party. But we used to have more conservative parties. We used to have the Conservatives, and then we would have the Reform Party, which was also conservative, and then we had the Alliance, which was also conservative. And then in the early 2000s, they all kind of got together and were like, we keep losing because we're basically the same entity, and we like disagree on like stupid things, so like why don't we form a super party? And then they did, and then they formed the government because, you know, that's how that works. If you you just make it a two-party system, and you know, it worked out for them. First time I voted, I scanned the slip and spotted the sex party, started laughing, and was like, fuck yes, you'll do, hell yeah. People get really mad if you don't vote like seriously, but spoiling a ballot is entirely valid, and I respect it. I've never done it myself. I've always voted seriously, but you know, if you're not going to, it's your prerogative. Yeah, Canada's got rednecks. Canada's very rural. So think of like Appalachia. That's like 90% of Canada. It's just that we have a lot of like union support here, so even though, you know, there's a lot of Appalachia up in Canada, it's not it doesn't out muscle people making good wages, you know. 2016, Harambe the Gorilla got more votes in the presidential election than one of the Green Party candidates. Yeah. Vote Joseph Kony, baby. Was Harambe in 2016? It feels like so much longer ago than that, but... what am I doing here? I think I keep doing shoot. We can go on more errantries. I think next month... This is the 4th week? Yeah, we'll go on another errantry. Dude, oh my god. So, the Harambe thing reminds me. There was this thing that happened a couple of years ago in, I want to say Sweden, where there was like a Planet of the Apes uprising, and they had to like euthanize I say euthanize. I shouldn't say euthanize. They fucking murdered a bunch of monkeys because they like all conspired together to like break out, and it worked. Like they succeeded. All politicians are as bad as each other, so personally I don't see the point. One thing I envy about American... It's not compulsory there. I think saying all politicians are equally evil is a little bit glib and like fundamentally incorrect. But I also do think that if you're someone who has gotten to a point where they are in the running for president or prime minister, you're probably depraved in some like serious ways, because you can't get to that point without compromising on like extremely important core values. Knew the channel interested in the competitive aspect of it? Hell yeah. Well, you come to the right place. Today we are raising a monster for Combo Breaker. So we're going to be finishing this guy off today. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. I will answer everything to the best of my ability. God, these stats are brutal. This is going to give us Giant Whip, and then we will be able to get Giant Wheel after that, and that's it. Oh, the chimp escaping? Let me see if I can find it. There. Does that work? Okay, I don't know why I copied it twice. It's fine. Like, the link looks weird, but it works. Yeah, the URL looks stupid, but it works. Yeah, if you just click on the hyperlinked part, it's fine. God, I can't read this. It's making me mad. Fucking Sweden. Neutral my ass. Seems pretty... Ah, shit! I'm so mad. I'm spilling water. BRB. BRB. Alright, welcome back. We're back. I just personally feel all politicians are ultimately self-serving, and they claim not to be. They care for the common man, not for the common man. Anyone who actually wants to be a politician should be automatically barred from doing so. I think probably that's a little bit more harsh than my opinion on it, but I do think if you want to hold public office, you should probably be forced to have like worked in another industry outside of maybe econ, because you know they're all lawyers and econ people anyway. But like right now in Canada, we have a prime minister who like didn't really have a proper job before he became a politician. He was like a drama teacher, I guess, but like I think he was part-time. I don't think he had a real degree. I don't know. He might have. I haven't paid that much attention. But the other guy, his main opponent, literally has never had a job. His first job was working for the Conservative Party as a teenager, and that's literally the only job he's ever had. I don't think anybody like that has the necessary life experience to run a country. I think you need to, like, you know, have a little bit more going on in your life. Hell yeah. We gotta fight a wall. Probably just slate or plate. I think his name is Plate. I don't even require basic human empathy. No, I know. But that's never been the case. Alright, I think we got enough power now. I got that guts lead. Easy. Get your ass beat. Plate is such a funny model name, yeah. Hope you guys are enjoying the Raisin stream. It's been a little while since we've done one of these. I did one during the entirety of DXBL Season 3. Think they'll ever port over the PS2 Monster Rancher games? Do I get asked that a lot? I do kind of get asked that a lot, but I don't mind answering. I think it's both financially maybe not worth it for them, and on top of that, Monster Rancher 3 is very hard to emulate. You need very specific settings, and it's not that they couldn't do it. They have the code, right? I'm sure they could make it happen, but it's difficult to make it work, and I don't know if they're willing to put in that kind of, you know, effort to actually make it happen. Hey, Toji, how you doing? I'm doing good. How have you been? I don't know what the Switch 2 will be capable of, so there's not counting it out yet. Well, I mean, Switch, as it is, can easily run the games. It's not really a question of specs as it is a question of settings. It's like very awkward. 3 local totally normal men destroy a wall with their bare hands. I've heard that. Looking forward to Combo Breaker? Me too, yeah. Working out at the gym and playing Monster Rancher 4? Hell yeah. Yeah, I just got back from dinner. I'm quite tired, but we're making it work. I got boxing on Monday. Starting in June, I'm upping it to 2 times a week, which should be pretty nice. I do enjoy the boxing. Probably have to. I don't know if they'd have to remake them from the ground up, but I do think a thing that's not really discussed outside of like the core Monster Rancher community about Monster Rancher is just how like awfully every game that wasn't Monster Rancher 1 and 2 sold. Monster Rancher 3 sold like 15% of the copies of Monster Rancher 2 or something like that. Like, it didn't sell anything. And then they changed Monster Rancher 4 in a big way, and that sold even worse. And then they're like, fuck it, these fans don't know what they want. We're going to make a circus game. And then Evo sold like 20,000 copies or something. Didn't do good. Made me decide to raise Color Pandora as my Combo Breaker monster. I think it's broken. I picked a monster that I think is very strong, arguably top tier, and is probably something no one else is going to pick. And is funny looking. I picked something that had a name that I think was good. Basically, the name worked out, and that was about it. Barcode scanning. They surely capitalize Monster Rancher phone games using barcodes. I don't think barcodes matter, and I'm going to explain why. You can generate barcodes. The fun of Monster Rancher 2 was just having stuff laying around that you could check to see, right? And I don't think, as much as I would like something like that to come back, I don't think it'll ever be that good again. I just don't think it's possible for them to come up with a system that is even comparable. Something that is both fun and doesn't feel like a chore, you know? The big issue is that it happened at the perfect time, where CDs were everywhere, but they were still like a discrete thing that you needed to own, right? It was still scarce, like quote unquote scarce. Barcodes are not that. Barcodes, I understand if you could like scan a QR code or a barcode or whatever, but you just have barcode makers. You can just generate barcodes. So there's no scarcity to it, right? There's also much less of a finality. You don't have an attachment to barcodes, right? There's no like, oh, I love this magazine. Like, I'm gonna scan that. Like, okay, maybe, but like, how many things do you have the box for? Like, the barcode itself is not interesting. The idea that you could scan the CD itself is part of what made it magical, right? Not saying the barcode thing is a bad idea. I'm just saying I don't think it's better than the system they have currently, which is a database of 700,000 albums. They need a new creation gimmick. It would be cool if they came up with something new. A lot of people have thought about it, and I don't know what the solution is, so I try not to be the guy who just shoots down ideas without coming up with something good, but I'm sure there's something out there. I do like the CD album lookup for this one, yeah. I think it works pretty well. Oh, hell yeah. I had this song in like all of my my Project M custom builds. Hard to come up with a solution that will work cross-plat? Ooh, that's interesting too. I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah, this is when you're in the stores. Next one. Super bummed when Monster Farm Lagoon never came to America when I was younger. I didn't even know about it till after it was gone. I remember hearing about it on Legend Cup back in like, I want to say like 2007 or 6 or something. I was in high school at the time. And being like, what? There's a Monster Rancher MMO? And then it's like, it has been discontinued. It's like, oh, okay. Sure. The worm design is really cute in it, yeah. I think it misses a lot of the personality that exists in Monster Rancher, though. One of those things where it's like, I would have liked to play it for the sake of playing it, but, you know, having had a lot of hands-on time with all of the spin-off games, I don't think they're very good. So I feel like I'm not missing much. Monster Rancher DS here is essentially Monster Rancher DS 2. Yeah. So Monster Rancher DS was like a barely finished game, and then 2 was, you know, a lot more functional. Monster Farm Lion was jank, but I definitely want... Oh, Lagoon, yeah. MFL, that refers in common parlance now to Monster Farm Line, which is the mobile gacha game that exists. And people seem to enjoy that, but again, I'm not into it. I think they had some good ideas, and I think if I could read the language, I would enjoy it more. I made an entire guide for how to play it if you couldn't read the language, but like it doesn't keep my attention enough to like force me to sit through that. Because Monster Rancher for me is, a lot of the fun is in the optimization and stuff like that, right? And when I don't know what the hell is happening, it becomes a lot less enjoyable. There's like a fun, like, discovery period, but after a while, if I still don't know what's happening, like, it doesn't feel fun anymore. Stopped after a month. I think I played for like 3 months, yeah. I basically played up until they released Phoenix, and then, or not even released Phoenix, but had Phoenix as a boss. And then I was done. That was it for me. Love Line currently feeds a hunger for monster. Japanese is your second language, but even I gotta get a translator. Kanji is tough. Yeah, I can be. Like compound words and stuff, basically, right? Watch some handy guys to figure out line raising. Yeah, I haven't looked up anything on, like, people have discovered what the secrets and stuff mean exactly, and I'm sure I could look it up if I wanted to. But I'm just not that invested. At least it's better than My Monster Farm, or My Monster Rancher. My Monster Rancher was dog butt. That game sucked. I keep seeing people say they wish they played it, and I think it's just like, oh, I wish I got to experience this thing. Kind of the exact same way we're talking about Lagoon. Lagoon was actually the sequel to Monster Farm Online, I'm pretty sure. There was 2 different MMOs. One like failed, and they're like, fuck it, we're doing it again. Dogboat, and he's still heartbroken when it went down. Yeah, it was not a good game though. You know, speaking of My Monster Rancher, yeah. For those of you who don't know and are watching, My Monster Rancher was a Monster Rancher mobile game that came out right around the peak of like you have hit your maximum amount of time for playing today. You have to buy more energy. Like all those games in like the late 2000s, like 2009, 2010 era. And it was like really bad for that. But also the battles. Oh baby, the battles.
Things are going well.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate a golden experience. They are going well. I'll see you next week. That's pretty hype to think about. But yeah, the thing with Monster Farm Line is that My Monster Rancher is the way the battles worked is it randomly chose 3 stats. And if you beat your opponent in 2 of those 3 stats, you won. And if you like really beat them badly in one of the stats, it counted for 2 wins. Using generated post background ideas, but when more information came out, he dropped it. Yeah. Do I have upcoming projects? I talked about the board game. Yeah, so, I mean, it's just a matter of time and effort and money and time and effort. I'm really kind of putting everything on the back burner until Combo Breaker is over. I haven't even run any tournaments since Combo Breaker was announced. I'm just kind of letting it go and figure out Combo Breaker, and then I'll worry about everything else after that. I'm using AI for reference, but that's about it. That's kind of how I feel too. Someone makes fanfics, seeing people use it to make whole art and call themselves artists. I mean, you have to have some sort of self-awareness about what it is, right? I love the whole hating AI art is ableist argument, because it's like, shut the fuck up. You're the biggest loser on the planet. Is being a big bitch a disability? Like sorry. Like, shut the fuck up. You insane loser. Oh my god. You're not disabled, you're lazy. A bad nerve damage my arthritis. I know, they get so pissed about it. But I know so many artists with disabilities. Like, if they want to be artists, they'll figure out a way, right? Use AI for shit posting with the homies in Discord. That's probably its best use case. Remember someone's arguing in favor of using AI because artists are expensive? I know. AI isn't a great reference for anatomy. Finding actual reference photos has been a chore because Google is so bloated with AI slab. Oh my god, I can imagine. It's great if you want something that has like a disembodied hand or, you know, 4 elbows. Oh my god. Yeah, Vertigo. I saw that the other day. I was looking online and someone had mentioned that they were just looking for a picture of like a snake fighting an eagle. Because like there's eagles that fight, they will eat snakes, right? And they were looking for it for a project or something. And like half of the things that they found were AI generated, and it was just like an eagle with like legs coming out of its head. And it's like, why is Google so bad now, man? Awful. I think it really just comes down to what's the purpose of the AI? How are you using it? Are people being affected by it? Like, is it using someone else's actual work for input? And, you know, there are ways to go about it ethically, I think. The big one for me is that AI has some pretty impressive and solid use cases for audio mastering. Mastering for a very long time was extremely expensive, and while, you know, there's a solid skill base needed to be a proper mastering engineer, it's almost entirely monetary. Most of it, you know, sorry to my friends who are doing mastering. If you're being honest with yourselves, you know mastering is almost entirely gear. And the difference between someone who's like top of their field and someone who's like pretty good is like minimal. And it's mastering engineers are like the only people who can hear the difference. And so AI mastering has become a thing in the last 10 years. And I remember seeing all the big name mastering engineers complaining that it was going to put them out of work, and it didn't put them out of work. People still want that expert opinion, right? But it's great if you don't have 40 grand to spend on equipment. Maybe too late to use it ethically. So what I'm talking about is using it, oh my god. Not in like a chat GPT or like a Mid-Journey type of way, but like there are other applications for AI that don't pull from photo sets and like data compilers that have used unethical scraping methods. But yeah, for stuff like that, I think it's probably cat's out of the bag. That shit's just fucked. What days are Monster Hunter 2 a combo breaker? Sorry if this has already been asked. Just want to make sure I don't want to miss it. It's on Friday. The stream starts at 1 p.m. Central. The kind of AI we've used forever. Exactly. Exactly. Photoshop filters, find and replace, stuff like that. It's, you know... And that's kind of how it works in music. It's not so much, we copied your favorite artists and made this. There are tools where AI exists, and it makes a lot of sense to use it in that capacity, you know? People use GPT for everything in life. They don't think for themselves. Dude, did you see the... one where people are posting the, what is it, Grok or whatever the one on Twitter is, and it'll be like, hey, how many sides are in this? And it's like a septahedron, right? Like a 7-sided thing, and it's like, that's an octagon, it has 8 sides, and they're like, no, that's wrong, and they're like, oh, sorry. It's a hexagon, it's got 6 sides. So like, it only knows like the common shit. This is really funny. Not a country person, but Randy Travis has aphasia and can't sing anymore. He was able to write and make a new song using AI trained off his voice and a colleague. I mean, using it to copy yourself is like maybe the most ethical use of it, right? Especially in something like music, because we're far past the point of like performance mattering to most people, right? They want catchy songs. They're not looking for performance in a country song, right? They'll want it in like other styles of music probably more, but not so much in that. What, 4th week? Okay, so we're gonna go on air trade again tomorrow. There's some language models out there to help with my coding, and it's been pretty helpful for me, even if the wrong answers at least gave me hints. Coolest use of AI I've seen is some single-player D&D games. AI would DM for you. But that's like AI in the same way that like Monster Hunter battles are AI, right? Like it's a thing programmed into the game to work, to function. I think at that point it's being used as a buzzword. It's AI in the same way that chess computers are AI. I think my favorite is they have these water fountains that you can like charge your like you can pay a fee to have the water be cooled at the water fountain, and they call them AI water fountains. And it's like 10 years ago or like 15 years ago when they started calling everything smart whatever, and it's like, that doesn't fucking mean anything. What are you talking about? Not really? What's different? Okay, I want to go and Papas. I guess the difference is it's not pre-programmed to have specific... I guess it would depend on what it is, right? Because what you're describing sounds like a complicated text adventure. I don't know if I got the tech or not. I wasn't paying attention. Really would make human-like decisions and such. You can just tell the difference. You can throw anything at it. I could see that being like a decent use of it. was on that AI D&D site for a long time, but chatbots have been a thing for a long time. It does, yeah, it kind of sounds like a chatbot. The thing about Monster Hunter 1 and 2 is the subtle world building. There's some name locations like Papa's in Korea. Yeah. Korea. Easy to win a battle against those guys. Those fellers. 3 normal men is a powerful name, thank you. Also required a new technique. Okay, so we got triple shots. Big triple shots fan. We got 2 more attacks to get. 3 more, maybe. Where are we at in terms of build progress? I guess I haven't shown it off at all tonight, really. It doesn't look like much. But we're doing okay. We can probably feed it Trorons at this point. I don't have any Paradoxins saved up. But I can feed it Trorons, which will give it more power and skill. Power is going to be the hardest thing to raise. So if I can just boost that shit, then that's fine. I do have to go on 2 more errantries before I do that, though. This is a Teen Titans Go video game soundtrack. This shit rocks. I'm also a big proponent of Teen Titans Go. People love to talk about how it's just awful and Teen Titans original is so much better. And I think you're all crazy. Teen Titans Go is a great kid show that's like genuinely funny. And Teen Titans Regular is like the shittiest Western attempt at an anime I've ever seen. It's just, I don't like Teen Titans at all. The animation is fucking atrocious. I hate it. It's the ugliest shit I've ever seen. And you guys are crazy for thinking that's not the case. Teen Titans Go at least knows what it wants to be, you know? It has its own identity. It's hard to explain. You can just feel the difference between AI and a chatbot. I mean, they are technically the same thing. It's just that old chatbots weren't as sophisticated. Never really was into either one. In the Teen Titans Go movie, I watched it on a plane, like, whenever that came out. Was I going to Japan at the time? But, you know, for a kid's movie, it was okay. It does what it sets out to do, you know? Okay, we're still at 01. I can probably start raising its speed now. Kablam Nickelodeon, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, I went to Japan for my honeymoon. Yeah, we're at Jet Set Radio Future. This is, was this song on the actual game? I've listened to the soundtrack so much, I forget which ones are like hidden tracks and which ones are... Yeah, it's Sneak Man, but I don't remember if Sneak Man was like in the game or not. It was? Okay. Because I know there's like a dozen like songs that didn't make it into the game. I always forget which are which. Legends of the Hidden Temple? Give me the Legends of the Hidden Temple movie, the gritty reboot. Did I play Bomb Rush? Do you mean, what's it called, like Bomb Funk or whatever? I did not. Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. Okay, that's what it was, yeah. Yeah, no, I haven't got a chance to play it. I got to experience good Nickelodeon, not the hyperbolic teen drama Nickelodeon. Yeah, Nickelodeon went live action long after I was old enough to, or young enough to care about it. What am I looking for? More skill? More skill's probably fine. I think we're gonna do life though. We're gonna go on errantry again next week. Nickelodeon wasn't as big here. It was kind of hard to get it Like, you needed a special cable channel for it. It was a huge pain in the ass for most people. Starting in like 96, I think it was, we got Teletoon, which was like an all animated, it was kind of like a Cartoon Network for Canada, kind of. That was a big deal. Teletoon used to be like really crazy because they had, before like Adult Swim was a thing, they used to have their own, like, I think it was before Adult Swim was a thing. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it was around the same time. Early to mid 90s. But there was a whole litany of like actual adult programming, like shows with like nudity and stuff that would come on after like 2 a.m. between like 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. Okay, so we got Cracker. We're not getting Mega Cracker, but we're getting regular Cracker. South Park was on it. Yeah, it was. Simpsons was on. Okay, so the way Teletoon worked, which was like kind of cute, is they had 4 different programming blocks. They had an early childhood one from like 6 a.m. till noon, and then they had like one for youth, like 8 years old and whatever, from noon till 4 p.m. and then they had one from 4 p.m. till 8 p.m. that was like for teens or whatever, and then 8 p.m. to midnight was another one. I don't remember the exact times or whatever, right? But each of these blocks was broken up into a different like theme of like bumpers and stuff like that. So they would have all these different like types of animation to go in between the episodes. So in the early morning ones, they had a lot of like claymation, and then I remember at night for like, not the adults, was like this like weird stop motion shit that was like really like viscerally like unpleasant to look at. But then the teenagers one was all like cutouts, like Angela Anaconda, if it wasn't the ugliest thing you've ever seen. It was kind of cool. I'm sure I could find some. Can I beat Hardy? Hardy got me with this green banana. What? You're not dodging that. Get the hell out of here. The hell's that, Hardy? You're gonna dodge twice in a row? You got no speed. I just always thought it was cool how all the different programming blocks for Teletoon had like distinctly different art styles to like break up whatever shows we were watching. We didn't get the whole series though, knew it aired in Canada. Yeah, we did get the whole Monster Rancher. First experience is Monster Rancher when he was 14. I think Fox 8 every day at 1:30 p.m. So for us, we had YTV, which was like, I guess, I wouldn't say Nickelodeon, but it's like kind of similar. It was like kids programming. But it had like, Nickelodeon is probably the closest thing to it. But oh, cool. Link to Jay Wong's Twitch. Jay Wong's gonna be fucking getting questions like about what Monster Rancher is. He's gonna be like, what the hell are you guys talking about? But yeah, there was a block on YTV. I remember the first episode of Monster Rancher airing, because I remember being like, Digimon's already a ripoff of Pokemon, and this is a ripoff of that. I don't want to watch that shit. And then I watched like 2 episodes, and I was like, alright, I'm sold. I love this. Jay Wong is where it's streaming? Yeah, but he's not streaming it. They're piggybacking off of his channel. They just have some of the bigger names in the scene use their streams. Jay Wong commentating would be hilarious, yeah. That was before I even knew about Numbers Go Bert. Yeah, exactly. Should I not do that? No, I understand what you're saying, Fenric, but I do think linking it this early might be an issue. I don't think people are gonna need to save the stream or whatever. I'm gonna be doing promo day of and day before. Justin Wong is like one of the best fighting game players of all time. Have you seen the Evo Moment 37? We gotta look this up. He is maybe the most famous person to lose a set of all time. He's washed now? Dude, he's still like the best whenever he feels like playing. Every new game he picks up, he's like the best in it. Only no Sonic Fox. So he's the Chun-Li player here. I gotta break this down real quick. So what's happening here? The picture's in the way, so you can't really see what's happening with Ken's meter. But Chun-Li's meter here is filling up slowly. She's whiffing buttons because she only needs to chip out Ken. Ken's got no life left. And so basically anything he gets hit with at this point will kill him as long as it's a special attack of some kind, right? Chun is ungodly broken in this game. Yeah, Chun's arguably the best character, though, you know, you could make an argument for Ganejin as a move on its own being better than her as a character. We're not going to get into that. Ken's also very good. Ken's not like a bad character. Ken's probably top 3. But basically, she just needs to hit him once, and it's over. They're tied. They both have 1 game to their name, so whoever wins this one wins the whole thing. And she's just whiffing moves because it builds this meter up for her. Oh, and right there, we're gonna go back into it real quick. She decides to use her super, which has 14 hits. In this game, you can parry attacks if you press forward within, is it 3 frames? Whenever you're about to get a hit. So that means that if you want to parry, like she just parried there, if you want to parry, you take no damage, but you can't block and do it at the same time, so it's very high risk. She does her super, and Dago Umahara parries every attack and beats Justin Wong's ass. This is like the most, this is probably the most famous moment in all of fighting game history. Justin will never live it down. But the thing is, he banks on that shit, though, right? He always talks about how it's like, oh, I'm never going to escape it. But it's like, he brings a lot of it on himself because he thinks it's funny. He's a good sport about it. And also, you know, it's extra content for him whenever he wants to do it. Where were we? It was a cool moment, though. Yeah, for sure. So that was a huge comeback. That was the first time anything like that had ever been done in the game. At such a like a high stakes level, like in such a high stakes environment. It's happened a bunch of times now. In lower stakes environments, specifically to him, because people want to style on him. I'll never be as hype as the 90% misses by Kamui. That's true. That's, you know, you make a good point. But yeah, it's his channel. He doesn't know anything about Monster Rancher. He's not Dogura. We should run it on Dogura's channel. He'd be able to tell everyone about it. 3 in a row, yeah. The 3 90% misses by Kamui in a row, and the 2 99 misses by JP's Phoenix back to back. to lose the tournament. He's gonna learn. You're gonna learn today. That's also him. Okay, so you know, if we're gonna talk about teaching real quick. We we got something else we gotta show real quick. So this is also Justin Wong.
Uh-oh. Talker? We got a talker. We got a talker.
Hi.
Oh shit.
Hi, bud.
Oh
Can you
fuck.
talk to me?
Oh my
That
god.
was so easy on me, okay? I'm new. So I'm new to the game. I don't have that many. Why are you picking Jack? I want to be Jack too. No, I want to be Liu Kang.
So like one of the best players in the world playing like a 9-year-old kid who's like never played the game before. Hey Golden, I'll catch you later,
Where are
man.
you in a party? Aw, you're gonna win.
MKX is best MK. I enjoyed MKX.
Yeah, you just go easy on me.
Welcome to the-
I'm new to the game.
Welcome to the real world! Welcome to the real world!
Okay, that's a cheat move. That's a cheat move.
Welcome to the real world! Time to learn! You gonna learn today!
Right there. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a cheat move.
You gonna learn today!
No, you're using a cheat move. No, you're using a cheat move. No, you're cheating.
You're gonna learn! It's the real world! You learn it early, son!
That's all you ever do in your house? I'm done playing now. You're a freaking jerk. All you keep doing is that. That's fucking not fair. That's all you're gonna do.
Flawless.
How is that?
That poor kid. I've been there though. I feel you, kid. Oh. Thought he was gonna let him win or something? No.
I'm done.
No, nothing like that. Oh man. Got no reason playing a game well over his age range anyway. I think it was an even exchange there. I enjoyed it. I thought the 8-year-old was about to beat it. I guess playing that right after the Evo moment 37 is a little bit of a cock tease. It's like, oh, he's gonna lose again? No, he's gonna make the kid quit forever. Oh my god. It's gonna be like, I'm new, I'm 9, but I end up beating his ass. No, not quite. Oh man. Okay, so I think I only need one more tech, or 2 more techs. I need Spiral Rush. So I need a good nature for it. I'm best natured. I think Spiral Rush is good natured, right? And then maybe 2 swings. So the reason I'm going with this build is that Kamikaze and Giant Whip are like, that's my go-to. That's really all I want to use. But then Cracker gives me options. Say I run into a tank for some reason. Cracker is great in that scenario. Cracker is great if I'm playing a monster with a really bad guts regen rate. Especially if I have a lead and I don't really want to swing anything big. Because hit or miss, that's a huge amount of time taken off the clock. And if it does hit, I mean, it gets rid of all their guts, right? And then triple shots is just so in this slot I have something that does damage. Worst case scenario, I'm stuck in slot 3 with 2 seconds left on the clock, and I can't risk walking forward to use kamikaze. I need to just mash out something. Cracker won't win me the game, but triple shots gives me a chance in that scenario, right? Even if it's not something I'm going to be using very often. It's there in case, right? And then giant wheel, again, big damage if I need it. I'm probably not going to swing giant wheel at all unless I'm like desperately losing. But even in that scenario, it's probably better to swing kamikaze like or giant whip. It's really I'm stuck in slot 4 and I only have 30 guts and I need to hit this tech to win kind of thing. Spiral rush we're going to get is going to be similar. It costs the same, but on a miss, it moves me all the way up to giant whip. And so if I only have to do a little bit of damage, I might not risk it on the giant wheel, and I'll do spiral rush, and if it hits, you know, I win, and if I don't hit, it puts me in range to use my actual, like, game-winning techs. So that's my strategy here. And then 2 swings is just, it's pretty solid for the numbers, so we're going to get it just in case, but I don't think I'm going to be using it much. So that's my thought process on this build. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think if I'd waited to make my build until after the parsec testing, I probably would have gone worm. I mean, I haven't made your monster yet. If you want to enter something else, that's fine. I haven't made any of the monsters yet. Nothing's final yet. You good with your guy? I think your guy's pretty solid. Secure JP. JP, it'll screw JP. So nobody's locked out of using a monster if someone else is using it. Manually making multiple monsters for people? Yeah, so the thing is, lots of people don't like playing on an emulator, or they're not comfortable, or they don't know how to set it up, or whatever. So they were playing on DX, which is the re-release. And so I'm just rebuilding them in Cheat Engine on a game we can actually play there. That doesn't need online all the time like DX does. So people have already made the monsters and they've sent me screenshots, and I'm just going to throw it into Cheat Engine. Shouldn't take more than like 15 minutes per monster. The hardest part will be making sure I have the right text. Mostly because the Cheat Engine sheet for PSXE is kind of garbage. But everything else about it should be pretty quick. First week, fatigue 20, I can feed it, nuts oil, and we can go try and get spiral rush. I think I should be able to get it. I was looking for little things I could use for graphics for my tweet when I tweeted out that I was going live. And it was kind of funny because I looked up Color Pandora and my video is like the #2 picture. Like the thumbnail for my video is like the #2 picture that comes up for Color Pandora. What do I need for Spiral Rush? I need 450 power and speed. Okay, we've got that already. And that's it. That's the last one that I actually need something for. And then 2 swings, I just got to use tail swings 30 times. And that's it. Okay, so we're in a pretty good spot. Have a PSX to practice controls. Nice. Have any Zillas been entered? Not yet, I don't think. I will say, I don't know what people are using for controllers. I guess that's maybe something I should explain because, you know, in the fighting game community, you're just expected to bring your own controller, and I kind of don't want people showing up not having a controller, so I'm okay letting people use mine. I'm just using a PS4 with USB into my computer. If anybody has like an old Xbox controller or whatever, that's fine, but we are playing on emulator. We're not playing on PS1, so as long as people are okay with that and they don't bring PS1, it's wired. Mine's wired. It'll have to be wired. It won't work otherwise. It'll be like really weird trying to set it up. You could use Bluetooth, but you're not going to be given any leniency if it like disconnects or whatever. Nobody's gonna be like, oh, you know what, let's redo the game. Your controller disconnected. Like, nobody Nobody has any tolerance for that kind of shit. Hey, 3 Up Moon, how are you doing? Hate anything not wired? What's happening? Oh, you know, we're raising a monster for Combo Breaker. The big fighting game tournament that Monster Rancher's at next week. A 20-year-old SNES controller to USB adapter? Hell yeah. Have we talked about how bizarre Color Pandora's design is? I mean, at length, yes. I love Color Pandora, though. I'm a big fan of... He's just 3 little guys. They're just bros. They just hang out. Who's the monster? This guy here, Color Pandora. His name is 3 Normal Men. Oh, he died. Alright, I guess he's not going to Combo Breaker. He ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3. Monster Rancher 3 Color P is best Color P. I agree. I think he's very, very cute. It's so funny to me that the "he ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3" has become like a Donkey catchphrase. I'm a big Donkey fan. I love Donkey. But it's so funny to me how people get like really aggressive about other people copying Donkey and like being Donkey clones because they have like similar speech patterns or like, you know, they copy things he says. When his 2 biggest catchphrases are arguably that and the spaghetti and meatballs thing, which... if you've never seen it before, is literally not something he came up with. The like just saying spaghetti and meatballs randomly for no reason is a Tim and Eric bit. There's a million JonTron copycats out there. There are, yeah. I mean, hopefully they don't want to be anymore, but it's the James Quall bit where the acting school where it's just spaghetti and meatballs. Whenever he's like Michelle Pfeiffer, spaghetti and meatball. It's such a good bit. It's so fucking funny. It's because of the cadence in his speech, though. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. We all have speech doppelgangers. We definitely do. Don't think I've seen Donkey vids before. I think he's pretty funny. I'm a fan. But yeah, it's... people get really mad if you like copy him or whatever, but like that shit is just like it already exists. You didn't come up with any of that. Okay, I guess I can use mint leaf here. Okay, we're just gonna try and get some battles out of the way, and then we're gonna use Trorons, and then I think we're okay. Recently made an Animal Well video that a lot of people liked. Yeah, he published Animal Well. Animal Well is the best game I've played this year. That game is so good. I had so much fun with it. I'm in the Discord right now, and like trying to find all the secrets and stuff. The secrets for that game are batshit. People have done a really good job of like discovering. I think everything's been found at this point, but it was like he set up a lot of the stuff to like maybe not be discovered for 10 years. And if you're playing by yourself and you didn't have a community to like help you discover like what the solutions are, you probably would take 10 years to figure it out, or never. They're insane. Like, they're actually insane. As in, like, thinking back, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But it's like, it requires, like, a really inquisitive mindset to, like, discover some of the secrets in the first place. And then, like, technical understanding of how, like, games work, or, like, the mechanics within the games, like, on like a granular level, like after you've already played a ton. I'll give out one hint now because it doesn't really, it's not a spoiler for anything, and it if you play the game with this in mind, you still aren't going to find what I'm talking about. But there's a great example of like becoming like really in tune with like what the game lets you do, and then trying to abuse that in a way that is like maybe not intended, but like, oh, maybe this will work. There's a part in the game where you have to like flip switches to make like this one wall like disappear, and if you like flick the switch, it like appears again. So, but there's 2 walls side by side, and one of them is always off. So if you flick the switch, it like goes like this, and then you flip the switch again and goes like this. 2D platformer, yeah, it's a puzzle Metroidvania. And so basically, no matter what you do to like flip the switch, you can't be in the middle and turn one off and then walk through and then turn the other one off and then continue your path. There's no way to do that. So what people have found out, and it ends up being a solution to like one of the more complicated, or like a piece of a solution to one of the more complicated problems, is that there's a section where there's 2 walls and then a switch like drops one, but then when you flip the switch the other way, it drops the other one. So what people would do is they would set it up so the furthest wall in to like a room that nobody can access is the one that's on, and then they would have to find somewhere to like flip a switch that would like change it. But if they changed it, you know, the first one would go up. And okay, let me pull up Paint. I have to talk about this because I think this is the most genius design I've ever seen for an answer. Give me one sec. Here we go. We got Paint up. So there is this path here, right? And you want to get here. It's just like, it doesn't tell you there's anything here, but there's like, say there's a ground here, and then you can go up. There's like a ledge here like this, and then there's like areas above here. And it's like a Metroidvania type game, so it's one small square of like a much larger map. You can come in through here, and then, but there's this ceiling bit. And you're like, okay, I don't know what the ceiling bit is. I don't think I've ever been in the room that's right here. And there's 2 walls. And then there's like a switch. It's not in this room, but there's a switch in this previous room that if you flip it one way, this one goes away. And then if you flipped it the other way, so say it was that way or whatever, let me redraw that. And if you went like this, like you flip the switch that way, then this one would go away, and then this one would pop back up. So there are these 2 walls. And so what people were doing is they were setting it so this one would go away. And then, without touching the ground, using items you can get in-game, they would play basically the floor is lava, jumping off of, you can get like this little bubble wand that makes little bubbles. And so they make a bubble, make another bubble, and make this path all the way to a different room that has a switch in it. And then they would turn that switch off, and then they would find somewhere in that room to die, like a spike pit or whatever, because when they died, it would respawn them here. But now this wall would be the one that's up, and this wall would be gone. So basically they had to set this whole thing up where they had basically this wall here was disappeared, and then took this long path where they didn't touch the floor, because wherever they touched the floor would be where they respawned on they died. Basically, yeah, so bubble path death skip. Yeah, exactly. If they touch the floor anywhere and then they die, it'll bring them back to where they last touched the floor. But if they last touched the floor behind this wall and then went through this convoluted path, they would find a way to like stay up here and have this wall disappear, and so they can go into this room. This isn't necessary for the game at all. This is not explained to you anywhere in the game. It's just a thing that people are like, I wonder if I can abuse this. And then it turns out it's not abusable. It's literally the intended way to do it. It's like abusing the game mechanics. And that's to find one of 16 pieces of a secret puzzle that leads to a second secret puzzle. Like, the game is fucking nuts, man. It's insane. Not all of them are this hard to figure out. Like, they're not all like this, but a couple of them are, and it's really cool. And so he said, like, I don't think I think there's some things that people won't discover for 10 years, and that's the kind of stuff he was talking about. But people figured it out in 3 days. All of the secrets got figured out in, like, I think 4 days total. I think the last secret was discovered, like, 2 days ago. One of them requires 50 different save games to work. There's one where there's a big mural, and you have to change the mural to be something else, and you get a little hint. If you do a bunch of secret stuff, you get one hint to what the mural is, and it's a small 4x4 section of what this like mosaic mural is supposed to look like. But the actual mosaic is like 160 by like 80 or something like that. So you have a 4x4 square, and there are 49 other 4x4 square patterns that you can arrange. And so you need 49 friends who have all found different patterns and put that shit together to make the mural. That's I think that's the only one that requires more than one game. Technically, I suppose you could do it yourself if you bought 50 copies of the game, but like the game is really fun. On top of that, like, it's really crazy how there's all these bizarre secrets, but the game itself is actually just like genuinely really engrossing otherwise. Dev needs to step his game up. I think the funniest thing is that people figured out something that was supposed to be in the collector's edition, and the collector's edition isn't out yet. Though, to be fair, I'm pretty sure that was through data mining. But even then, data mining this game was really difficult, apparently, because he did heavy encryption to all the game code, and there were certain instances in the game that would rewrite the game's code to like change what values meant, and like change how tables got looked up and things like that. So different things that you could do in game would actually make it harder or easier to like data mine certain sections of the game. Really like interesting way to approach making it hard to solve, you know? And the fact that it was all just one guy, like, I know people like to talk about, it's like, it doesn't really matter, the game has to stand on the merit of its own or whatever, but all that stuff is really important to the game. The, like, amount of effort that went in, all these little ideas, even if, you know, they don't necessarily increase the value of the gameplay or whatever, the fact he did it all by himself, I think that's all really important in, the appreciation of the game, you know? So it gets leaked in 7 days, 100 years to complete, yeah. It's a really, really nice game, though. I really enjoyed it. It looks like a solo dev game? Yeah, it does. It doesn't feel like it, though. It feels, and I suppose it looks as well, I would say, like a singular vision, right? Only one cook in the kitchen. Yeah, it really just looks like this is the thing I wanted to make, and I did it. And it doesn't really have anything superfluous. If anything, the game's probably a little bit too short, but it's, I don't know, I liked it. Like Stardew Valley, yeah. That's another game where there's just like so much going on, and it's just, it knows exactly what it wants to be, you know? Is this, it's a racing game, right? It's not Mario Kart. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, this is Chocobo Racing. And Chrono Trigger, yeah. Chrono Trigger, the singular vision of one guy. Akira Toriyama did it himself. He programmed it. I heard that. I heard that's true. Okay. So I got a troll run on, so my power's going up by a decent amount while I'm doing this. I need power to 950, I need skill to 950. Speed to 760. It's going to take a little while, but it's honestly not going to be too bad. Yeah, this is Chocobo Racing. I hate how they put out, what is it, like Chocobo Racing GX or whatever, and it's just awful. Like, everyone hates it. It's like simply like you cannot play it without microtransactions. It like lets you do like a couple of races a day or something. Yeah, I was stoked for it too. And then I saw some reviews of it, and despite how bad the reviews were, I almost bought it anyway. And I'm glad I didn't. Games like that where it's like you pay $40 and then you have to also just like buy content in the game. Now get the fuck out of here. What are you doing? Yeah, it sucked. I have to go. It's a pleasure to be here. Take care. Hey, no problem. Yeah, I don't actually think we're gonna get this done today, but I guess we can finish it on Monday. I almost didn't stream today. I was really close not to because I was feeling pretty tired, but we did it. What other PS1 game do we want a sequel to that doesn't suck? Monster Rancher 2. No, I don't know. Man, it would have been so nice to have a good Chocobo Racing sequel. Or even just a remake. I would settle for a remake. Though I do think the game itself is a little bit lacking in terms of player expression and stuff for a racing game. Intelligence Cube. It's a game you can draw on your own monster crayons. Yeah, Magic Pendule. We played that on stream. That game's sick. Magic Pendule is really fun. Yeah. They actually did make a sequel to it. It's like a side-scrolling beat-em-up game. It's less of like a turn-based RPG, more of like a side-scroller. Pretty cool idea. Okay, I'm Adolescent 2, so my stats are going to start going up a little bit more now. I think I might still feed it Troron. I don't think I need to worry about peaches and stuff. Fantasy Tactics 2 would be awesome. I played through most of Tactics Ogre this summer, and I enjoyed it. I got stuck at some point. I think I'm under-leveled, or my team sucks or something. And it's pretty tough, but I do like it that it's got like branching pathways and stuff, and the story changes based on what you do. Tactics Advance is actually the only one I've like really played. I played a little bit of regular Tactics, but Tactics Advance, it's funny because like the story is like very different. I thought it was gonna be the exact same thing, and then I went to go play the original after having only played Advance like in 20 years and just being like completely taken aback at how different it is. Thought Advance was just a poor didn't realize it was its own game. Yeah, I have a story about Advance. So I was playing it on an emulator, and for whatever reason the battery saves weren't working on the emulator. No matter what I did, I couldn't save if I saved in game. I could only do save states. I got all the way to the last boss, and I accidentally save stated instead of reloading before the battle started, and so I lost the fight, and then I just never played the game again. Because it was just like, oh, I can't do anything here. Okay, well, I haven't saved during this entire run, so I guess that's it. I pulled a 3 up. I did. But I had no backup for it. It felt really bad. Tactics 1 was so heavily political, I couldn't wrap my kid brain around it. Tactics Advance and A2 are basically isekai. Easier to understand. Yeah, it isn't like the first fight in Advance like a snowball fight or something, and then they get pulled into the world where monsters rule or whatever. I'm looking at my PS2 right now. I haven't played it in a little while. Probably like a year and a half. 2 years maybe. The enemies just bully that one kid, yeah. Just beat up on him. Genki fell into his PS1. He did. It's true. That's canon. Okay, so we're finally at Adolescent 2. We finally have good life gains happening, or good stat gains in general happening, I should say. We're pretty close to finishing off our power. I don't really need to raise it anymore. I'm 600, 350. Maybe I raise it till it's at like 800, and then I just use troll rounds for the rest. I'm in a pretty good spot. Life gains are really good, so those will crank up easily during prime. Speed gains are okay, so even though, you know, I only have 38 speed right now, I'm not worried at all about maxing that out. I got Kato disc chips, hell yeah. Useful. Tactics Advanced 2 ends starts with kid getting a year of detention for being late to school all the time. Oh my god. Classic. Okay, I'm gonna feed it one more Troron. Oh my god. The hiccups are back now. The hiccups went away, now they're back. And they're worse. Back and better than ever. Ah, you scared me. You scared me, Bob. It didn't work, though. I appreciate your help, though. Fuck, man. Need more tactics games? I do like tactics games. My original idea for my Monster Rancher clone thing was a tactics game. I still have a lot of the ideas for it. Wario Tactics? Oh man, that'd be sick. What would you have on your team? You would have all the little things that like change Wario. You'd have a little Bumblebee. You'd have a little Keybird from Wario Land 4. Monster Rancher Battle Card? Yeah. The original one's kind of wonky. The second one is really, really good, though. We actually play through a Tabletop Simulator on the Discord. I actually have a tournament coming up for it shortly after Combo Breaker. I'm just waiting for Combo Breaker to finish first. Both are peak. Brother, the first one is good in like a I can't believe how bad it is kind of way. It's not a good game, man. Like, it's not good. We played the PS1 Monster Rancher card game here. Yeah, the second one, is episode 2, is the PS1 one. The first one, I have a video about the first one, and it's just me making fun of the translation. Matt, if you've never seen the first Monster Rancher battle card game, you should check it. I think you would enjoy it, just because the translation is fucking atrocious. It is like Pokemon Vietnamese Crystal level bad. You have? Oh my god. It's not good. Haven't played it. It's genuinely funny how bad it is. The words of a true fan. The first one is funny, I only had the first one, yeah. I wouldn't say it's a roguelike. It's like a dungeon crawling card game. Which is kind of annoying when you think of how long random encounters can take, and then you think of how long a card game takes. And then you think of how long a random encounter card game can take. Oh, Micro Machines is such a sick game, hell yeah. Is it more like mystery? There are dungeons, and it is a mystery what you're supposed to fucking do. But it is not a mystery dungeon, no. No, it's basically just a dungeon crawler. Like, you enter, there's random encounters, you have to find items to progress. But every time you get into a random encounter, you gotta play a card game. I think when you lose in Monster Rancher 1, Monster Rancher Battle Card 1, you lose cards, and then it doesn't happen in Monster Rancher 2. Monstery Dungeon, hell yeah. I say think because last time I played I didn't lose a single battle. I just beat the first dungeon and then gave up because I was not having fun. Oh my god. My hiccups are killing me. NHL hits? Oh yeah. All the arcade sports games are great. I remember, is it Blitz? No, not Blitzball. That's the fucking Final Fantasy game. There was a Pitball. There's a PS1 sports fantasy game called Pitball, and it's got a pretty cool season mode where you have to do like team management and stuff. It's basically combat basketball, kinda. It's like NBA Jam if half of it was like a brawler, kind of. I haven't played it in 20 years. I don't know if it's any good, but I enjoyed it at the time. I think that's the last Paradoxon I need to use, or Troron I gotta use. We're gonna be in Prime pretty soon. Like Arch Rivals arcade game? Yeah, kinda. I might just keep feeding it Trorons, to be honest. I think I can go one more. Yeah. Ever play Azure Dreams? No, I haven't. I haven't actually played like a ton of like RPGs and stuff on the PS1. I played 7 and 8 and 9, although for 7 I haven't actually ever gotten past the first disc. Did I say 7 or 8? For 8 I haven't got past the first disc. Final Fantasy 8 is a very boring game. I'm sorry. I can't get into it. It's another one of your top 5 games, Azure Dreams. I've heard a lot of people say they like it. I love Final Fantasy 9 and it's slow as shit. So if I can't get past Final Fantasy 8, I don't know what that says. I think I just don't care about the characters. I don't give a fuck what a Quistis is. Get out of here. What is that? That's some made up nonsense. Playing Final Fantasy 8 on a TV when I wasn't supposed to when I got caught. Oh man. I remember being at my friend's house playing Super Nintendo, and we were sleeping out in the living room because there wasn't enough room in his bedroom. And so we had, I think we were playing Killer Instinct or something, and we heard his mom get up. So we turned off the TV and then we pretended to be sleeping, and then my friend's like, oh my god, she'll be able to see that like the Super Nintendo's on. So he took it off the shelf and put it down and then like put the blanket over it, and she immediately walks in and she's like, where's the where's the Super Nintendo? We thought we were so smart. And she just like instantly was like, what? And I was like, man, that was such a good idea. How did we get caught? And then he's like, oh, she caught me when I did it last time too. I'm like, oh, okay, dumbass. You did the exact same thing and you got caught before? Like, come on. Didn't even try. And so I told him next time, and it worked the next time we did it, is we just put a piece of tape over the light. So when she like gets up to like check on us, she can't see any lights or anything. She can't tell we're playing the game. And it worked. We pulled the same move, yeah. I had a killer instinct, I did. You had a towel from behind the door, yeah. Goof Troop and SNES is a good co-op game. I've seen it. I don't know if I've ever played it. It's fun. It does look fun. Oh, have you guys seen Windswept? Windswept is a new indie game. It's coming out next year, I think. But it's basically like an unapologetic rip-off of Donkey Kong Country 2. And it looks really cool. Instead of being two monkeys, you're a duck and a turtle. It looks great. Thought the monsters were generated for tournaments? You gotta build them. You gotta put some effort in. Oh yeah, with the duck and the turtle, yeah. Yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, I backed it too. It looks awesome. Had a tiny TV and a plastic little crate and a blanket. When people would come, I would cover my PS1 with the blanket. PS1 was in the crate. Oh yeah. I like how games, especially like a lot of like new games, are being like marketed as rip-offs. Like that's their own verbiage. What do you mean you couldn't? You couldn't generate a monster for a tournament? Oh, you mean ukulele? I liked ukulele. I think people were too harsh on it. I'm also not like particularly harsh on video games. I was talking to some friends about this the other day, but like a game has to be like really bad or like sit with me for like a long time and like piss me off for me to like really not like it. And it tends to be games that I am disappointed in their potential. Like Monster Rancher Battle Card 1 is a good example. Monster Rancher Evo is a good example. But like if I'm not like super invested in it, like if it's not a Monster Rancher thing that's underperforming, I kind of give it a pass. I don't really care that much. It's if I had fun, then I had fun, and that's it. Which I mean is not great if you're like looking for recommendations or anything. But yeah, it's for the most part, I'm just kind of okay with most of the stuff. I don't like Monster Rancher 4. I think it's a really fun game if you're playing casually, and if you know anything about Monster Rancher, it is like big butt. It's not good. But casually, it's fine. I enjoyed it when I was a kid. It is super grindy. It's fun if you don't have a goal in mind. If you're just playing it to pass the time, it's pretty good for that. Okay, these hiccups are starting to kill me. I think we're going to call it there because I physically can't keep going. It's starting to hurt. Oh, but yeah, we're going to finish this guy on Monday. Let's take a look at our stats. We did a lot today. Couldn't train one, only play as a kid, and the whole raising mechanics were completely opaque to you. Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's completely understandable. But yeah, we don't just generate them for tournament because, especially in tournament play, it's AI versus AI 99% of the time. So because of that, if we generated the monster and then we didn't control the monster in the tournament, you really haven't done anything, right? So at least if you have to build the monster yourself, you have to raise it properly. then there's some skill involved, you know? Is this tech loaded all set? I haven't set the order yet, but the only thing I need is 2 swings. So we're going to get 2 swings, and then when we do that, we can set the order of everything, and then it's fine. But, I mean, for this guy, I don't think it matters too much. I'm not swinging anything frame 1. A spiral rush frame 1's not a good idea. Even if it lands, I'm behind. I don't like that. If a golem wants to swing Cyclone, I'm going to let him. I'm not going to do anything about it. Great chance I don't even start in slot to actually use Cyclone. I'm probably in slot 3, sorry, for him to use Cyclone, so I can probably use Cracker. If he uses Diving Press and misses, and then I swing Cracker immediately, I've probably won the game. That's probably it. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it matters too much. I even talked about that in the new video, where it's like, order matters if you really need something frame 1, but other than that, what about Bagu? What could I do? If I use Cracker and I hit him, he can still use Diving Press. Like, there's not much I can do. If I wither 20 from him, we've both got 30, and it's still going to kill me in 1 hit. There's not much I can do about it. You just kind of have to accept your fate, I think. Ugh, okay. Hope for no Bakus. Yeah, I mean, but what are you gonna do? It's what makes him good. What makes me good is having a 70% chance to hit a move that does about 40% of their health. Like, I think if I get beat, but straight up luck. Hold on. If I get beat, but straight up luck. Hold on. Yeah, okay. I think the sound was pretty good. Plasma Sword's playing. Let's go raid them. It's a true fighting game, yeah. Okay. Now they're playing SFTM, Street Fighter, the movie, the game. That's also going to be at Combo Breaker, and it's pretty exciting. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'll see you guys on Monday. We're going to finish this guy up, and then, yeah, I will be spending the Tuesday getting stuff ready for Combo Breaker, and I probably won't see anybody till Thursday. But I think I'm going to do a live blog, or vlog, as it were, a travel vlog. I'll make sure everybody knows what's going on at Combo Breaker. But until then, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. And yeah, happy long weekend if you're in Canada. I don't know if it's like that in the States, or if it's the long weekend next weekend in the States. I don't know. I don't really care. Happy Victoria Day weekend to all my Canadian brethren. And I'll see you Monday. Have a good one.
Women are basically